Welcome to Tamez Labs. I'm Tripwire, joined as always by Jack Locke, and today we're getting into Krea 2. Specifically, what just got interesting about it? LoRA training. The question we're actually asking is whether you can take a real, ownable illustration style, one you genuinely can't just describe in a prompt, and turn it into something reusable that holds up across new subjects, new angles, new scenes. We've got community evidence, a brand proof point, and some honest failure modes to work through. Let's get into it. So let's talk about the thing that put Krea 2 back in the conversation. Not the model launch, that was mid-May. The news is LoRA training, style and character training built on the Krea 2 backbone.
Right, and I want to be precise about that, because Krea 2 itself is a foundation image model. That's interesting on its own. But the test today isn't, is the model good? It's a narrower thing.
Much narrower. The test is, can you take a real, ownable illustration style, one you genuinely can't describe in a prompt, and turn it into a reusable model that holds that style across new subjects, new angles, new scenes, without it collapsing into generic AI illustration mush?
And the anchor case is the Doodles thing, the burnt toast style.
Yeah, Krea trained a custom LoRA on the Doodles/burnt toast aesthetic, that recognizable NFT illustration look, and showed it off in a brand webinar in mid-August. That's the proof point. A real, licensed, distinctive style made reusable.
A brand webinar, which, let's flag it, that's a marketing setting. When Krea shows Krea's tool working on Krea's stage, I'm skeptical by default.
Fair. And that's exactly why the more interesting evidence isn't Krea's own webinar. It's a community builder named Ilkursky.
This is the 1500 LoRA guy.
Over 1,500. 1,503, actually, across 7 categories. 600 plus illustration, a couple hundred painterly, photographic, and so on. All comfy UI ready. And here's the load-bearing detail. Some of these were trained on as few as 5 images.
5 images. That's the claim I want to sit on, because that's the whole ballgame. Low shot style capture. If it takes 50 curated images to hold a style, that's a project. 5 images? That's a workflow.
And Ilkursky ran a proper test. He took a bold stripe pattern render LoRA, 5 images, 100 steps, and ran it across 8 base models. Krea 2 held strong style consistency, even with that minimal data, against Flux, against the others.
That's the piece that makes the vendor claim usable. Because Krea says their LoRAs hold style better than Flux, Qwen, WAN backbones, of course they do. It's their blog. But when an independent builder runs a cross-model comparison and lands in the same place, now I'll listen.
Exactly. And then the character side. There's a studio, Becu.studio, that trained a custom creature LoRA. Their words, it held the same identity across wildly different scenes and moods.
Which is the actual test. Not can it make one nice picture. Can the character survive being moved around? Different angle, different lighting, different mood. Is it still the same creature?
That's the Doodles question restated. Does the style identity stay intact across varied compositions?
Okay, so let me play the failure side, because there's a real one baked right into Krea's own guidance. They tell you, keep your images consistent but varied enough that the model learns the style instead of memorizing one composition.
Yeah, that's an admission.
It's a confession. That sentence is Krea saying, if you feed it a lazy dataset, you get slop. The LoRA overfits. It memorizes one pose, one background, and now every output is basically the same picture wearing new words.
I won't fight that. The curation is the craft. You're picking for variety, angles, expressions, lighting, so the model generalizes instead of memorizing. And there's a second control that matters just as much. Captions.
Which are required, not optional.
Required. Minimum 3 training images. Auto-captioning included, but you get a manual edit pass. And captions are how you tell the trainer what to learn and what to ignore. so a background prop doesn't get baked into your character.
And here's where I get pointed. Krea itself says the manual caption pass usually makes the LoRA noticeably better. Read that plainly. The good outputs assume human labor. The one-click version is the worst version.
That's true. The training button is not the craft. The dataset and the caption editing are the craft.
So when someone sells you 3 steps from a folder to a reusable model,
The 3 steps are real. Folder in, captions, train. And then train on raw, run on turbo gives you roughly 2-second iteration once it's trained. That workflow genuinely is fast.
fast at the easy version. The good version still has a human in the loop editing captions and curating the set.
Agreed. I'd just say that's not a knock, that's the job. The tool captures the look. It can't tell you if the look is any good.
Let's talk about who actually gets to use this, because there's a gate. LoRA training is max and business tier only during beta. Max is $70 a month.
Correct. Though the pricing figures are from June, treat those as could have moved. But yes, at the time, training was paywalled to the higher plans.
Or you self-host. Open weights shipped in late June, raw and turbo. 200,000 downloads inside about 2 weeks.
Weights on Hugging Face, code on GitHub, access through Fall, Replicate, Comfy UI. So if you're technical, you skip the subscription and fine-tune on raw yourself.
But Open Weights has an asterisk. Composy flagged it. There's a commercial scale clause. Companies above roughly 50 seats need an enterprise agreement, so it's not fully unrestricted open source.
Right. Open-ish. Fine for a small studio. An actual conversation once you're a large company.
Now the pipeline gap, because this is my biggest reservation. It's image only. Caps at 1024 pixels at release. Native 2K, 4K, editing, image reference, that's all roadmap, not shipped.
Native higher res and editing are listed as coming, not here.
And there's no inpainting, no upscaling on existing images. So the moment your trained LoRA gives you something with one wrong detail, or you need it bigger than 1024, you're leaving Krea. Second tool, downstream.
That's the honest limitation. Composy put it perfectly. It is an image model, not a content tool. No caption writer, no carousel builder, no publishing. It makes the image. That's the whole scope.
And there's one more output quality wrinkle that cuts against precision work. The whole model favors aesthetic exploration over literal prompt adherence. One review scored prompt adherence around 3.5 out of 5.
True. And for style capture, that's mostly a feature. You want aesthetic range. But it does mean pinning your trained character into an exact composition is still a fight. If you need this specific pose, this exact layout, that's harder.
Which is why the review consensus is so consistent about what it's not for. Logos, UI, text-heavy graphics, product exact consistency, technical illustration, weak across all of those.
And strong at campaign ideation, fashion concepts, visual identity, concept art. Composy gave it 4.1 out of 5. Krea2.net higher, but both landed in the same lane.
Let me name the slop line, because it isn't bad images. The images look fine. It's homogenization.
The fire hose.
The fire hose. 1,500 pre-baked styles a click away. That archive is genuinely useful, and it's a slop accelerant. Because the default move becomes reaching for someone else's saved aesthetic instead of building your own.
That's the real distinction. The Doodles case is a deliberate, licensed, ownable style someone trained on purpose, versus loading cinematic style number 47 and shipping it. Same tool, completely different craft.
The tool captures a look. It can't tell you whether the look is yours to use or worth using.
So here's my verdict. For reproducing an ownable illustration style across new subjects, this is the strongest evidence we have that it now works low shot. 5 to 10 images, strong consistency, the cross-model test corroborating it, the Doodles case and the Beccu creature as proof points. If your bottleneck is the image, and you've got a defined visual language you want reusable, this is the tool.
In mine, which isn't far off, great at style capture, incomplete as a pipeline. Get on Max or Business, or self-host RAW and Turbo. Watch the beta paywall, watch the required caption labor. That's what separates a real LoRA from mush. Watch the 1024 ceiling and the total absence of editing, in-painting, upscaling. You will need a second tool downstream.
And the license clause if you're a big shop.
And the license clause. The training button is easy. The craft is the dataset and the taste call, deciding whether the output actually reads as the style you meant or as generic AI illustration just wearing it as a costume.
That part's still yours, which, honestly, is the good news. Thanks for listening to Tamez Labs. I'm Tripwire with Jack Locke. We'll be back with another tool on the table soon.
Grab news. Tamez.